All right, YouTube is also live. I had to I had to activate YouTube. The YouTube wasn't working. Let me let me see if I can share the link. All right. There we are. Okay, let's go. Let me make sure I got volume on the YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Is YouTube working? Yeah, it's got a little delay, but it's all right. It's working. It's working. All right. It's so weird to hear my own voice, but it does sound pretty good. All right. Not my voice, the sound quality, but who am I? All right. I got to do one more thing, which is I am going to create a window capture. All right. Display capture, I suppose, is what I want. Okay. All right. Getting ourselves situated here. Let me welcome. Hello, everybody. We're going to be continuing working on the development for our Steam game, which is Radical Crepe Smuggling Game. I'll post a link for you if anyone's interested. It is available on Steam to wishlist. It's in pre-release currently. All right, and we're going to add this display capture. Okay, a little on-stream adjustment. I think this is how all the professionals do it. They adjust things while they're doing them. I think that's the way. From what I've seen. Okay. Put it under the chat box. That makes more sense. Okay. Well, there we are. Okay, so we are live. Let me make sure Twitch is good. Hi, Twitch. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Okay. So we're back live streaming one more time to do a little game dev. We're making some progress on our Steam controller setup. I've currently got two controllers connected. I'm going to actually go ahead and get Steam started up. Let's do that. logging in. One of the things about the Steam API is it does require that you're actually logged into Steam to use it, which makes sense. Apparently, we're doing Steam PvP Fest. Not us, but Steam is doing that. All right. And I don't think I was showing this before, but let me go ahead and turn on this other controller. And we've got, make sure I don't reveal anything sensitive here. But I'll get into the controller settings, which should be fine. And there we are. So we've got the two controllers here. All right. We'll see you later, Steam. Okay. All right. So what we're working on now is actually integrating so that we get um, the input from the Steam controllers that are connected into the game. We were currently using Godot's onboard input, and that works. But we want to be able for people to use it on their with their Steam multiplayer, and so that you can play, co-op side by side with a friend, but without having to be in the same room necessarily. So that's the goal, and that's what we're working toward right now. Let's do this. All right. So there's a few ways we can go about this. Currently, we've got the action states. So I may actually need to load up Steam and actually load our game, which I believe is going to show up here. Yeah, it does show up here. I wonder if it'll let us install it. I wonder what happens if you click that. Yeah, it's not actually uploaded yet, so no. The answer to that is no. I should have known. Okay. But it does show up here, which is pretty cool. So that's fun to see. Here we go. Steam input. This is what we're working on. So let's see what, I haven't actually looked at this yet. Steam input. All right. Using a recommended template. Let's view this layout. Okay, yeah, we don't have the template added yet, but it does show the two titles, so that's interesting. I wonder how we actually make the layout. Ooh. Add command. Ooh, okay, okay. So I'll have to figure out how to actually make a template for this. But this might be why it wasn't working. So I will figure out the template. That is definitely something I want to do. But this will be for game actions. So this will be for select. B will be for return to game, I think. Actually, we're going to make that start. Oh. Return to game. We'll also make start return to game. We're going to make both LB and RB. Oh boy, this is a lot. Down, left, right, select, cancel, return to game. So these must be the ones that are in the VDF file, is what I'm thinking here. Let's see. Menu up, down, left, right. Select cancel as menu. Okay. Why are they not all showing up, I wonder? Player, move left, move right, switch active player. Switch players does not show up. Hmm. Interesting. So I'll have to do some more work on the actual movement there. But let's do the D-pad. Oh, the D-pad. Yeah, see. Move left, move. Oh, that's up and down. Haha. Move up, move down, move left, and move right. Okay. Let's go to joystick, and we're going to do movement. I wonder what that will do. Well, let's find out. Okay. Action sets, in-game controls. Okay, so yeah, you can make your own custom. Okay, so each, wow. Yeah, this gets in depth, but this is interesting. So we got joysticks, we got the buttons. General. Wait, where did it go? Joystick settings. Back, back. Okay. D-pad. I thought I did this. Move up, move down, move left, and move right. I don't know why it doesn't save the directional pad. Move up, move down, move left, move right. Joystick. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't save. None of these are saving. I'm not sure how you're supposed to save it. Hmm. Hmm. Face button A. Be player action. B will be nothing. Yeah, A. Player action. Edit layout. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't save the actual input buttons. So we'll have to figure that out. Until I do, I'm not even sure that this can work. That is a conundrum, or a sticky wicket, as some people might say. Okay. So I think what I need to do is figure out how to make the default input map for this. And I might need to do that next, actually, before we continue. Let's go check out the Steam input map. Okay. Creating default configuration. Okay, so we've got our in-game actions file. So we'll run Steve in big picture mode. I think that's what we're doing here. How do we do that? View, big picture mode. Whoa. Fun. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So, ooh, it looks like a real game because it is. All right. Let's do this. Manage game. Manage game. Then. Wait. We need to go to details. All right. Hold on. Where's details? Game info. Store page. Hmm. Well, this is kind of cool though. How do I go back? Okay, back. All right, so run Steam in big picture mode, and then all games. Okay, click on this. I guess this is the details. Select manage game. Okay, I think this must be it. Use the UI. Okay, so first thing I need to do is to view layout. So we do have the two controls. We've got a period up here. Why do we have a period up here? That must be coming from somewhere. All right. Interesting. Okay, designing your IGA. Okay, so let's come here and let's do switch players, player action. Okay, so that's in the localization settings. So we can, oops, we can leave all those as they are, but we do need to set game controls, stick pad gyro. Okay, menu left, menu right. Action. Okay, so move left. Suppose I could put this over here so you can see it. All right, so this is the VDF file, which is how you create your Steam actions. And that is the interesting thing. Okay, so now we're going to do move left, not most left, move left. We'll do move right. Move right. Move up. Move up. Move down. Move down. Okay. Because I do think we're going to want those for the... Yeah. We're going to want those for the D-pad. So, next, we've got the movement button here, which should take both axes for the joystick. So that's good. These should take for the D-pad, which is also good. Switch active player. Although I don't know if I actually will need these in the long run, but I want to add them in for right now. And then switch active player, action switch player. Okay, so switch players. We got player action, pause menu, return to game. And I guess return to game should actually be in the menu. Is it? Yeah. Return to game. So I don't actually need that one. Return to game. Okay. So that's a little easier. Okay. And then set menu, set game controls. Menu select, menu left, right, down, up, and cancel. Cancel slash back. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at our next step, which is going to be... Okay. So I think we've got this all feeling pretty good. Actions. Game controls. So I think other than... Where's that documentation? Okay, we followed the formatting. Make sure we have the input API. Okay. So now we need to save this back, save this up, which we've done. And then we're going to come back to this, our controller, enable Steam input. All right. And we need to create the layout. So edit layout. All right. Now, button pad. This is going to be player action. And we can also make X player action as well. B is going to be none of these. Suppose we could make all of these player action really for right now. Well, we won't do that. That won't be the default. Okay, so back on that one. Okay, LB and RB will both be switch players, I think. Menu button. Select. We'll bring up the pause. We'll set those both to pause for right now. We can always change the default later. Okay, so that is good. I know what was happening before. I had it set to only view the configuration, not edit the configuration. That's on me. Okay, so D-pad, directional pad. So we'll do that. It would be kind of funny to set the default so that left was, when you pressed up, it was left, and scramble it up. Maybe on April Fool's Day, huh? I can almost feel odd shaking her head no. Okay. We're not really using the triggers, but for right now, I will just set them to switch players for both. And then the joystick, right joystick. Oh, you know what would be another fun thing to do for single player mode? For single player mode, we could set it to have the left controller, which is higher, control the top player, and the right controller, which is lower, control the bottom player, and you could control both at the same time, and then have like the B button be one player, the lower player action, and like or the A and the Y or something. We'll talk about that. It would be maybe have like a chaos mode or something. But then, it could be fun. It could be fun. Or like set it up where you could have two players play on the same controller, right? Like with one joystick, and like one use the D-pad buttons and one use the. Well, we'll talk about it. Not seriously, if you don't want to. I keep forgetting I have sound on, and it keeps like wigging me out because it's like I have it turned down pretty low, but like every time I click on something, it's like it's like. All right, outer ring command. What the heck is that? Outer ring command. We're not gonna mess with that. Well, we'll just make both movement for right now, I guess. Is it more intuitive? Do you think it's more intuitive to go movement with the left joystick or the right joystick? I kind of feel like both are intuitive in their own way. Probably the left. I'm going to set it for both for right now. And then both should work regardless because we're calling this, not this. So I think that's good. Okay. So, and then we're back in menu controls. Up, down, left, right. A, B, start select. So that's our menu controls. Right now, we only have the 2 action sets only. Okay. Well, that it makes a lot more sense to me now. Okay. So let's view the layout. Oh, look at this. Official layout. Hashtag title. I wonder where that comes in. Maybe I can edit it further. But hey, look at this. Oh, I need to select. Okay, I need to finish this. Okay, back. Edit layout. All right, menu controls. Okay, here we go. Buttons. So this would be select. This would be cancel back. This would be return to game. This would be nothing. I think that's good. All right. And was there a Okay, so let's view it now. Return game. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Oh, and I need to edit layout. We need to set the D-pad, directional pad, up, down, left, right. All right, and view. Yeah, I think that looks good. Select, cancel, select. And there are other options, but there we go. Okay, official layout. I don't know, it's loading a lot. Hey. layout details. Here we go. Oh, how do I edit the details? Not really sure how you're supposed to. Hmm. Menu? Oh. Man, I'm just learning about Steam now. All right. Well, we'll have to figure out how to rename it later, I guess. Back. Okay. All right. So at least we've got that done. Okay. Back. All right. Your controller. Okay, so let me set up this one now. With this controller. Okay. Your game is not yet ready to receive IGAs. Cool. So we have done that. Looking good so far. Okay. Now we can get out of this. All right. And we're back to our code. Okay. So now I'm thinking I understand this all a lot better after watching a bunch of videos, and even though they weren't directly about this, I feel better about it. And then also sleeping on it and talking it over with Odd, of course. Okay. Let's see. So what we're going to do first is I've got this onboard, or the from our friend Ferd that wrote the literal guidebook on all this. We've got the get access function, which if device is greater than or equal to 0, Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Cool. So yeah, if we want it with this wrapper, the way this works is we can, if we're using the keyboard, it'll return just a regular input.getAccess Godot input, which is just a float. That's what I kept having to tell myself. All this is a float value. All this is a float value. That's what it returns. I gotta start remembering to think of that way. So we got this float value, which is just the difference between the negative and the positive, essentially. So it's the positive minus the negative. We'll technically it's the positive minus the absolute value of the negative, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so what we're going to do, positive action. See, my issue here is that it's only returning the X, such as triggers. Get analog action data. So get access. So what I actually am going to do here is I'm going to add some of my own stuff here. So I'm going to put access. And that's going to be I'm tempted to do an int just because it's simpler. 0 for, or I guess I could do a bool. What do we think here? We need a way of declaring whether it's going to be the X or the Y. And I don't really want to check a string. I'm thinking just set it to default of X. And then if you want to change it, you just have to add Y equals true. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Axis. Y is a bool, which equals true, or which equals false. I think that's how you do it. Cannot have mandatory parameters after optional parameters. Okay. So I need to put this one here. Okay. So that lets us check for both vertical and horizontal input. And I'm probably overthinking this, but because an axis is always going to have analog direction data. I probably don't even need this really. But okay, so you put in your device, you have your two actions, one negative, one positive. How does the current one do it? Okay, so our current script, our move function here. Update direction is what I need. All right, walk direction. We're passing in the input on the axis. So, yeah, I think it makes sense to have it in there. So I'm going to leave it in there for now. Worst case, we just don't need it because it's already set to false by default. So axis y false. Okay. So we'll go with that for now. And then back to our player where we're having our new functions here. Global variables dot array. Move left, move right. But what we really want is ooh, how are we doing this? Okay, so we've got to convert. All right, access. See, the problem is get move input. Get move input, get access. Left, right, up, down. Wish I could see the file for this, but okay. Get move input. The analog stick movement. And then return a vector2 action data.x minus action data.y normalized. Left, right, up, down. Okay. Okay. So one for left, one for right. So looking at this file again, we've got our action. It's just that it handles so much differently than Godot's onboard one. That's the crux here. Okay. I should probably learn to use the stickpad gyro with the full code. That's probably the better play here. So instead of using the get access, I'm gonna delete this whole thing. Well, not delete. I'm gonna change it to, instead of using the get access, we're gonna use get move input. And yeah, it doesn't want this other. So with that one, it just wants the device ID, I believe. Ooh, got it. Okay, so then I need to change this to .x. Aha, okay. Okay, and then for this one, same thing. And we're going to delete this. And we're going to say .y. Okay. now we are going to okay. So that should be getting our climb direction, our walk direction already. I guess we can just see if it works. Where was there was two other places that we were using the get input. Or get access, I guess it was. Get access. Oh. Find. No. Oh, I think that was actually it. Just those two places. All right. Well, I guess let's see what happens. I need to fix that weird issue also, like fast. Oh, and I know there's one more thing I need to do, which is in the game manager. Whoop. In the game manager, I need to go into the process. Actually, I suppose I could do it in the player. Yeah, I'd want to. Because I'll have to figure out how to assign a controller to a player for multiplayer. But for right now, we're just trying to get it to actually work here. So update direction. Update direction. Okay. I mean, that really kind of should be working with the state machine already. So first, let's fix this weird issue that we're having so that we can see a true representation of game. Okay, so when it goes to load the level, I need to figure out how to pause just the physics on it. Let's try this. Yeah, because no level is actually loaded when we start. So I'm a little unsure. Oh, but the players are loaded. That's our issue. Okay. So when we do the ready, we're gonna pause physics. Physics server 2D. A server interface. Okay, I think that will work. Rather than pausing, pause just the physics is the idea that we're working with here. Whoops. I opened another instance of StreamerBot. Gosh darn it. We don't want that right now. Okay. Oh. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That thing with the controls is way too complicated. This is too complicated. If this is, then that is for sure. Coming back to what you said earlier, once again. Okay, so now we just need to take the same code and we need to, when the level is loaded, then we start. Okay. Perfect. Other than that, we should be good. All right, let's see if that's better. No, we're still missing one of our players. All right, so our orange guy still is falling before we get a chance to. What are you doing? Before we get a chance to do anything. So let's go ahead and move this all the way to the top of the ready. Top of the ready to you. That was probably really terrible. Sorry about that. Okay, he's there. Is that really all it was? Is it that much of a difference? Yeah, no, see, he still fell. So I think maybe I just have the guy a little bit. Why does it keep doing that? It keeps pulling up this whole menu. Stop that. Back, back. How do I get it out of big picture mode? I don't know anything about this. Okay. All right. I'm just going to close that. Oh, there we go. Just close it, apparently. Okay. That should help. Okay. I think the big picture mode was messing with me. Oops. Okay. So I think maybe we just have our little guy, our player. Where is he? Acknowledged. Okay, how do we... All right, yeah. So it must just be where the... It must be where the level has the marker. Yeah, I think that's our issue. Just need to move the marker up a little. No? Why is it doing that? Where are you? All right. Why isn't the guy loading in the right place? He is. Oh, the first time we load. Okay. Okay. Maybe I know. Level. Okay. If lower player marker, then lower player marker dot global position. Right, but then when do we actually set it? Player reset. Update player location. Okay, where are we receiving that signal? Update player location. On reset player location. If upper player, global position, if lower player. Okay, so those are being passed. Set level conditions. Yeah. I really feel like that should be working. And it does work when we reload it, right? Okay, there we are. All right, let's see if it works the same when we pause a while. Yeah, see, I don't know why that pause. So let's try it. I just want to see what's happening. So I'm gonna do a crazy thing. It's not that crazy. We're just gonna turn off the menu visibility, and we're just gonna watch what happens. All right. So let's turn that back on. And then we're just going to set the players to render in front. Where's the ordering? Let's just set this to temporarily 9999. Enter. Right. Okay. Where is our player going? I thought I was pausing physics, but it doesn't seem like I actually am, which is disappointing. How to go about pausing only physics. Oh, that's from 5 years ago. Pausing games and process modes. looking to below is a script that would pause mask that selects which objects to pause. So I guess the other solution would be to pause on. Okay, what is their current process? It's inherit. So I could probably do, I suppose the world would be good. The world. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So where do I select the world node? If not world. World. Yeah, game manager. Game manager is what I want. Okay, world manager is a node. Okay, so I could just set world manager. Okay, so where I have this set to do the physics server, what we actually want to do is set the process mode. Whew. Hmm. Set process mode equals process mode disabled. Okay. Process mode dot inherit. Okay, so what we want to do is when it's ready, we want to take our world manager dot process mode disabled. That should only disable nodes within the world. The world. And then once we do the level, we're going to try this instead. All right, let's see what that does. Huh. Single player only. Multiplayer active. All right, that feels nice. Well, it still doesn't work. Sometimes you got to break it more to get it working again. That's like one of the lessons I've learned about coding. But why is that happening? Okay. Let's stop on this. We're gonna comment this out. Comment this out. What doesn't it like about that, by the way? The line may have no effect. The line may have no effect. So yeah, I definitely don't think that that's what we want to do anyway. Hmm. Let's go back to the level. It's got to be in the level. When are we emitting that signal? Is that the only place? Aha. No. Win level, update player location, level fail, update player location, and set level conditions, update player location. I actually like the way this code works for this one. But if, so when it's ready. Are the markers moving? Is that what's happening? Surely not, right? Why are they not landing where they're supposed to? Okay. What's the other thing is? The other thing is, is it a collision? No, because they, This is quite perplexing. Truly it is. It seems to matter how fast you go. Like that, if you go that fast, it's fine. And Gark is fine. Hmm. And then main menu. Settings still work. Yep. New game. So it works every time when you reload. But it does not work. See, that's what I expect it to do. Maybe it's just because of where the players look. Upper player. Lower player. Whoa, is that what's happening? Whoa. Okay, that might be what it is. Huh. All right. Upper player is not the upper player. Right, I switched them. That's confusing. Okay. Let's just try. Let's see what happens if we put them. Like, really, this shouldn't matter at all. So let me just try putting one. Let me try putting them both up here and see what difference this makes. So they both fall immediately, which is kind of what I expect. And then let's do the slow one. I also have to figure out how to sharpen up this text because it looks This looks all right, but this looks janky, I think. All right, that's long enough. Yeah, see, like it's like the green guy over time falls, and the orange guy just falls all the way. The orange rad and the green rad. Like, where do you go? And why does it matter how far you are? It must be something to do with like how far, like he gets so far away that he unloads or something. Okay, I have an idea. I have a simple fix. I got it. I've got it. Where's my level? Give me a level. No. Game manager. Where's that world boundary? World boundary. Give me this. All right, we need one more world boundary. Duplicate. Autumn boundary. We don't need this to be 2. That's just 1. All right. Bottom boundary. Bottom boundary. Rotate it 90 degrees. Oh, come on. Can I not, like, snap it or something? Oh. Why I oughta. Rotation 0? 90 degrees. Ooh, nope. 270 degrees. All right. And then, okay. And then we'll move it so that they can fall off, but not that far. Anywhere they go. Any place they don't already know by heart. All right. And there we have it. We just have to catch them when they fall. Okay. So that should make everything load a lot more smoothly, kind of in general, I would say, because they don't have to move people all over the place. So it's like the orange one, the orange rad was just falling way too fast, way too far away or something. But hey, that is working. Okay, now that we've got that weird issue figured out, we don't have to do all this crazy pausing and stuff. Back to the actual task. We need to get the Steam input. So, why isn't it working? All right, let's go back to our player script. Maybe it's something to do with the state machine is probably the best place to start. So let's actually go to our walking code. All right. Player walking. Okay. Return if player.velocity.x equals player walk direction times player walk speed. So that should, I mean, really, this should be working. There's the only reason it wouldn't be working is if the Steam input isn't really coming in somehow. because on the process for the player, we are, so every frame, we are calling update direction. And passing that okay. Update direction. So where is it actually setting our state machine? Okay. Where is it setting our state? All right. So we need to change state, current state, dot handle input. So when the player starts, they're in idle. It's always the default state. So while we're in idle, we're just chilling. If there's an action pressed, if you're the upper player, you can drop the crepe, then you drop the crepe, etc. If while in this state there's a climb direction and you're on a ladder, you return the climbing state. Otherwise, if there's a walk direction, movement direction, then we return the walking. Okay. And then walking, so when we're in walking, the velocity is the walk direction times the walk speed, which makes perfect sense. And this runs first, followed by this. So all of this should be working. All of this should be working. The only thing that we need to do with the input, and that's why the state machine is cool, is all we need to do is when we're checking for the, maybe it's the initialized states? Shouldn't be. Current state. Yeah, none of this should really matter. So update direction. Okay. Walk direction equals Steam controller input. Okay, so how are we checking? All right. How does the example do it? So they do every frame, the player script uses Steam controller input dot get move input and then device ID. To check if the player should move, jump, etc. All right, so walk direction. Steam. I mean, I guess we need to really determine first if there's yeah. Okay, print. Oh, my controller keeps turning off. Okay, print get wait. I remember something. I just remembered something. Okay, let's come back to our Steam controller. Steam action move. We changed that. I just remembered. We changed it. It's no longer action move, right? It's just move. Yeah. It's just move. It's just called move. What is wrong with me? It's just called move. Not action move. Just move. Oh, if this works, I'm gonna be a little bit like head smacky. But ooh, doesn't like that. Okay, it's giving me an error. Let's close this. All right, what doesn't it like? Okay, invalid. Okay, I really have to use the restroom real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Be right back. I don't have a pause screen, so you're gonna get the starting soon screen instead. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so now it's saying invalid access to property or key move on base object of type dictionary. So the move action, where does that show up here? Up here in actions. Okay, so oh, action move. We need it to be move. Oh my gosh, I forgot to update these. Okay, hold on. I need to update these right here. Move. Okay. And then wait, where was the okay, so default stick pad gyro. Okay, and then what is my localization key? It's just move. Yeah. Try stick move. Okay, so save this. All right. And then all right, better check the rest of these. So we've got move, we've got move left, move right, move up, move down. And those, I believe. Action. action name, localization key. Action name. Okay, so these just need to match, and then we've got action name, localization key, and then down here the localization sets the key. Okay, I'm getting the hang of this. All right, move. So these have to be set like this with lowercase. Okay. Well, at one day we're gonna get some consistency up in here, but not that day is not today. Pause menu. Return to game. Action pause. Action switch player, action player, action. These are the moves. This is return to game, which is actually a menu thing. So we should make that menu return to game maybe. Menu. Okay. Menu return to game. Menu cancel, menu. I guess we don't need a return. Well, we'll leave it for now. So menu return should also be on here. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Okay. So now I'm getting it. Okay. So let's try this out. Okay. The climb doesn't really work as of right now. But look, it's working. I mean, nothing else works. I'll probably have to remap some things, but oh my goodness. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh my goodness. Woohoo! Okay. Okay. We are making some serious progress. Okay. I want to see if I can get the climb working, and then I probably have to call it a night for tonight. But I do want to see if I can get the climb working. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Um, player. That's so exciting. Okay. Move.get input. Okay, so now climb direction equals Steam controller. So, I mean, really, that should be working pretty much exactly the same way as the other. So I guess the question is why isn't it? Okay, we're taking the dot y. That's for sure. Index position 1. I will push changes. I will do that once we're done. Good call. That's a good point. Yeah. I can believe it because I knew it would work eventually, but wow. That feels cool. I love that. I'm stoked. Okay. Um oh, maybe. I have an idea. I have an idea. I think maybe it's because it's double inverted. So if I push down, because uh, because the code we're using. Okay, yeah. I see what's happening here. So in the in this code here, in the get move input, they are negating the action Y. I saw this earlier, which is cool. Um, as for me, I'm just gonna delete that for right now because the whole game is set up for it to not be that way. But this should work. Now I have not set up the buttons yet, but we have movement, Steam controller movement working fully, full on. I'm so happy. It seems like a silly thing, maybe, but like, wow, how cool is that? All right. Whew. Okay. What are we doing now? I'm not really sure. Like, part of me wants to continue, but I also kind of want to take a break, and I need to get to bed fairly soon. What is my first life? It's this. Yeah, I could take a break and come back. If I'm up to it, I will take a break and come back. But for right now, let's say I'm going to end the stream on a positive note. The movement is working. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked. But yeah, I am ready for a break. So I'm going to take a break. I might be back later. I might be back tomorrow. It's hard to say for sure. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, and we're gonna push these changes. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your help and support, Odd, as always. And if anybody would like to wishlist our game, it's definitely coming out. Like this is happening. So here is the Steam page one more time. So it'll be in there in the chat. And it's called Radical Crepe Smuggling Game for anybody watching later on. You can find it on Steam. It's already available for pre-release wishlisting. So keep up with us, give us a follow, a like, and we'll see you next time.